Hey there, it's Anna. We are not in the garden today. We are actually up here in the seed starting area, but I just wanted to show you all of these seedlings and give you a little update on how everything's doing. We've got progress in the summer annual flowers. We've got progress in the cold weather flowers. The petunia seedlings are just about the cutest things you've ever seen. So I'm gonna flip you around and show you how everything is doing. Things are coming up and growing. The eucalyptus is doing really well. So let me flip you around and we'll look. Okay, so here are the baby petunias. I have had almost 100% germination, which is so exciting. I think there's only like 2 seed cells that haven't got a seedling, but they're doing so well. All still just on their first little baby leaves. And then over here are the coleus. And you can already tell with these ones, a little bit of that color tint. They're gonna be some of those more darker leaf coleus. And then some of the brighter ones, like these over here are the lime. It's so fun too. As soon as they get their first set of true leaves with coleus, you can start to see the patterns of what they're gonna be when they get older. So it's just always really fun. And even now, like this one is totally a different color than this other variety here. I do need to come in and water. As you can see, things are getting a little bit dry, but I will do that right after I'm done filming this. I just wanted to show you how they're all looking. Then down here we have the cool weather plants, and as you can see, it is time for me to come in and thin out the seedlings. This apple blossom snapdragons, I accidentally threw some strawberry seeds in there. You can see kind of the difference. And then these are the little baby strawberries. How cute are those seedlings? Oh my gosh. And then violas, you can see I had a little bit of issue with some of the pansy seeds, kind of trouble, only one germinated, but they're starting to really get their first true leaves. And so I have started fertilizing them weekly with a little bit of fertilizer, and that's been good. I will continue to do that. I definitely now need to come in and thin everything out down to 1 seedling. My goal is to plant all of these cool weather plants, maybe not the snapdragons because they're so tiny. But my goal is going to be to plant all of the rest of the little cool weather seedlings out into the garden here at the end of February. That's going to be the goal. And even if they only have a couple sets of true leaves, I'm not worried about that because I want them to really establish and take off in the garden. So that's going to be just fine. And plus they're going to need to get out of those little cells because those seed cells are pretty darn small. As you can see, there's not a lot of room for these plants to really get going. Here are the ranunculus. Oh my gosh, aren't those sweet? So I will probably end up potting those up and maybe keeping them inside. And the eucalyptus, these little baby eucalyptus here, I definitely will be keeping inside. So I will just be potting those up. I may go ahead and like separate these cells that have multiple seedlings in them instead of fully just like snipping them out, because I just want to have, you know, that much more eucalyptus, and eucalyptus seeds just a little bit more precious, so I want to be careful with those. So I'll probably end up separating those out. And the last group I have are these other summer annuals, still waiting on some germination, but the feverfew, I think this is this feverfew? No. What is this? These are the little foxglove seeds. Oh my gosh, it is so wild how small seedlings start. These are little foxglove. And then over here, I have some sea holly that's starting to come up. These are some of my herbs. This is tarragon and marjoram. Summer savory is just starting. You can see the first of the teeny tiny little seeds. So lots of things coming in here. And yeah, as I said, I need to come in and just water. Things have been drying out quite a bit more in this seed space. I have an overhead fan that I have been keeping on in this room to help move the air, just so that those seedlings get a little bit of, you know, faux winds to help them be strong, but it does dry out the soil really kind of quickly. So I've been really keeping an eye on watering them. And the only issue with using the cups for growing is that I can't really just like fill up a ton of bottom watering. Like I don't want those cups sitting in water. So that's made it like a little bit tricky as far as keeping everything wet enough. But I'm just gonna go ahead and I just water morning and night, kind of check on any cells that individually need a little bit more water. And then I just go ahead and fill those up. And so far that's been working pretty well. All right, so I got everything watered inside, and now I'm just gonna check on the greenhouse as well. So far, the only things that have sprouted in my like cool weather outdoor seed starting have been the bachelor buttons and a couple violas. and I think a little bit of feverfew, but let's see if anything else. I just keep watching every day, like popping out here to see if anything more is starting. All right, let's see. Okay, so this is the feverfew. Looking good. The bachelor buttons look great. They have just taken off. Ooh, I see a little bit of one little sprout in the snapdragons. That's really fun to see. Oh, and over here, Indian summer, I see a little, that seed got way off to the side. Do you see that? Oh, oops. Nothing on the milkweed yet. Oh, and lots of violas. Okay, so things are slowly but surely happening. It's definitely a much, much slower process outside. You can tell the difference in what temperature makes, because boy, everything indoors shooting up. I have sea holly started indoors that's just popped up in like less than a week maybe, and out here it's still taking its time, but not to worry, that is not a problem at all. As I said before, fully what we expect for out in the greenhouse. I'm really hoping that the milkweed does well. I just would love to have a lot of milkweed in the garden this year. It's such a great, obviously, plant for the pollinators, and I was just reading some things about monarch butterflies and their endangeredness and all of that. I did have a couple monarchs hatch, I guess, in the garden, and it was so lovely and so fun. I didn't actually see the butterflies. It was interesting. I didn't see the butterflies come into the garden, but then I found the little caterpillars, and I actually found, as I was kind of cleaning up out here and sweeping some of the cobwebs, a little chrysalis up at the top of my patio. This garden has this upstairs patio. That's where I take a lot of my pictures from above, and I've got the hanging baskets here, and then you can see, look, all the way up there. I'm pretty sure that's from one of the monarchs. And they were eating their food all the way down here in the milkweed that I had growing in this this area of the garden, which was, yeah, a perfect spot for it. So I'm definitely gonna pop some milkweed into containers. I would love to use the milkweed that I start from seed, but if for some reason it doesn't work, then I'll probably just buy a little bit of it. Milkweed is just, I don't know, if there's a tip, if you have like a go-to milkweed tip, let me know. I've tried to start it indoors and had just mixed luck, like just really not great luck. And I'm hoping that this sort of outdoor kind of cooler style for starting it will work better. I'm thinking that that will be just like allow a little bit of the cold stratification, and that will be a better way for them to get going. I know it's a bit more natural. They can kind of wake up the way that they would if they just reseeded. I did have one milkweed back here, and I'm hoping that maybe it just sort of reseeded and naturalized on its own. I'm not counting on it. I'm definitely, you know, starting a lot of different milkweeds in here, but I'm really hoping that maybe, you know, maybe it just grows on its own. That will be better. But yeah, I've gotten seeds. You can get free milkweed seeds. I can't remember what the organization is, but I think there's a few where you can get free milkweed seeds to help feed the monarchs, and I have done that several times. I've tried to seed milkweed and it just doesn't work, but I will keep you posted. No germination on the milkweed yet, but I'm really, really hopeful. Maybe winter sowing is the way, like true winter sowing is the way to go, or maybe I should just plant it in the fall. You know, next fall I may just go out and try to seed some of it and see if I can just get it going sort of the more, I don't know, I guess natural way, the traditional way. We do have a lot of milkweed, a lot of wild milkweed back in the wild areas around here. I do see it. So I know that it grows around here well, and I just need to somehow get it established in my garden. But that is the basic update on all of the seedlings that I have started right now. Things are growing. The next things we're direct sowing are peas, and indoors we're starting tomatoes, peppers, eggplants, like any day now. I just have to figure out and nail down for myself what actual day I want to get those started, because that will be just really exciting. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and thin out some of these seedlings, which will be an interesting process because I definitely did some major overseeding in this lot of seeds. I apologize if you can hear the kids playing in the background. It's always a little loud when we do things inside, but we'll try our best. So this cells, these are all of the snapdragons, like I said, and you can see the difference. There are some little strawberry seedlings that got stuck that I accidentally threw in there. So we'll get rid of those. I'm gonna trim the strawberry seedlings down to 2 seedlings per cell. I will leave, like this is the thyme over here. I'm gonna leave a few seedlings in these, because herbs tend to do okay when you grow them in a bit more of bunches. I never have a problem. Now over here, I seeded oregano and like, what did I even do? That is too much. So a few thyme, like 3 or 4 thyme seedlings together, that's fine. That's not gonna be a problem for them. This much oregano growing together, that's an issue. I do not know what happened with that. The ranunculus look fine. There's only a couple cells that have 2 seedlings. I'm just gonna leave it. Same with the pansies over here. If they have 2 seedlings in them, I'm gonna leave it. If they have 3 or 4, then I'll take like one of those out. And then with the eucalyptus, I'm just gonna go ahead and leave it and let them all grow a little bit bigger. I don't wanna try to separate them just yet. I want them to have a little bit more time to get a little bit bigger, a little bit stronger, and then I'll come in and, you know, separate out those. And as I said, I'm not gonna thin those. So let me go ahead and get in here and start thinning. Whenever you start thinning seedlings, it's always just such a great reminder that, you know, if you just sowed them a little bit lighter, it makes it so much easier. Now, when there's 2 or 3, it's not a big deal. I usually just look for the healthiest looking ones, the ones that are closest to the center of the seed cell, just kind of like the best specimens. And then, I don't know, when it's as thick as like that oregano, it's honestly, I just kind of hacked at it and tried to make sure I left a couple and didn't just chop down the whole thing, but it's like almost impossible to properly thin that. And there's no way I could separate those seedlings either because they're just way too close together. So that is like, learn from my mistake. Do not do that. It just makes everything so much harder. But now we've got everything basically thinned out. It looks a little ragged right now. But I will fertilize these again, probably in the next couple days here, and they will just keep growing. And now they have a little bit more space. And yeah, like the oregano, I don't know. We're gonna have to kind of let that survival of the fittest, see what we can get growing in there, because it's just not a great situation. And there's not a whole lot I can do at this point to fix it. But that's the state of the seedlings right now. And all in all, they look good. The other seedlings that I seeded, I did take more time and made sure I got fewer seeds in each cell, and they're going to be so much easier to deal with when they get to this stage. So that will be good. And I just got to remember to do this for my tomatoes and all the rest of the things I'm starting. So thank you so much for watching, for checking in on these seedlings here. I will talk to you in the next video. Bye-bye.